In this video, we are going to go through a workflow for designing a 3D printed cell phone case. This is going to be a little bit longer of a video, and we're going to go through how to create a cell phone case for your cell phone based on the schematics for your individual phone. So as you can see on the screen, I've preloaded a few images. I have preloaded an image of a 3D phone case example, a top view, a bottom view, and a side view, so you can refer to that. I have taken a picture of the schematic of the phone that I'm going to be designing for. This is the iPhone X. I pulled this from an Apple document that provides all the schematics. And then I've taken a single profile of that, and I've done some calculations with that, and I've brought that in. And then the very first thing that we need to do is we need to take your phone out of your phone case, and with a very sharp pencil, trace at least 3 corners of your phone. And take a picture of that, and import that into Rhino using the picture command. And we're going to use this to figure out the radius of the corners, and then come up with a rounded rectangle that we can start to use to design our shape. So having done that, I've traced my phone, sharp pencil. I've got 3 corners on there. The first thing I'm going to do is try to approximate the radius of the corner, because as I've told you in class, Apple does not allow the radii of its corners to be published anywhere. So we can't know that for sure. We're going to do an approximation. So I'm going to open up my circle menu, and I'm going to select this circle 3 points option. With the circle 3 points option, I'm going to click on this little corner in 3 spots and best try to approximate the radius of that. And now I've got a circle that really is a good representation of the radius of that corner. Now the other thing I need to do is grab my polyline tool, and I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to click on the top of my phone. I'm going to hold my shift key down and pull straight down, and I'm going to zoom in and click right on the bottom of my phone, and then I'm going to hit enter. So now I have a line that represents the length of my phone and a circle that represents the radius of my corner. I'm going to use Scale 2D and pull this line to the actual length of my phone, and that will, with it, bring this circle to the actual radius of the corner. Because right now this picture is not scaled to size, it's just a picture. So first thing I need to know is find the length of my phone. So I'm going to come over to my schematic, and I am going to search around on here until I find something that shows me the length. So I can see right here, it's hard to see, but this is product length. A length of 143.57. So I'm going to come over, I'm going to select my circle, I'm going to select my curve, and in my command line, I'm going to type in and select scale 2 dimensions. Remember, with scale 2D, you're going to pick one point, so you're going to pick the top point, you're going to pick a second point, and then you're going to tell Rhino in your command line right here what length you want that to be, which in my case is 143.57, and enter. And now I know the length of that is 143.57. We can come up here and we can go to the Analyze menu, and we can select Radius to click on the circle, and this is going to tell us the radius is 10.738. So with that, I'm just going to use my text tool, and I'm going to give myself some notes on the working construction frame here. So I know my length is 143.57, my width is 70.84. I knew that because I looked in that schematic as well, and the radius of my corners is 10.837. I'm just going to plop this down here so that I can refer to those numbers as I need to. So I got those. And again, you can come down here and look. I looked at product width 70.84. So with that, I'm going to make myself a rounded rectangle and create basic shape of my phone. So I'm going to come over, I'm going to select rounded rectangle. I'm going to click anywhere now, and I'm going to use relative coordinates. This is from way back in the beginning of the semester when we were doing precision drafting, but I'm going to type in R for relative, and now I need an X and Y coordinate from the point that I started at. So relative to that point that I started at, and the X is going to be my width, 70.84, comma. Now my height, the Y value is 143.57. I'm going to hit enter. Now you can see with your mouse you can pull and shape the radius, but we want to actually type in a value for the radius in the command line. So I'm going to type in the radius 10.837. And now I have the outside shape that represents the shape of my phone. So if you look over in the layers tab over here, you can see I have started this file with some layers already set up. And I would suggest you set these up yourself as well. So I have a phone sketch layer, a phone curve layer, an inside phone case curve layer, and an outside phone case curve layer, and we'll talk about those as we go. So this is the phone. If I make a phone case this size, it's not going to work because they would be the same size and the phone would not fit inside the phone case. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to come over to my phone curve layer, and with my phone curve selected, I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy the object of the layer, and then I'm going to turn that layer off. So I have a copy of that if I want it. Now I need to offset this curve because I need some space for my phone to be able to fit in and out of the phone case. And if you remember from the handout that I gave you, the clearance for moving parts is 0.7 millimeters. This isn't really a moving part, but it does need to move in and out. So I'm going to offset this, and I'm going to go with 0.5, just a little bit less than you need for a moving part. And if you zoom in, you can see I'm going to pull this out and offset out. And now, because I've made a copy of this layer, I'm going to delete the phone curve, just to keep myself from getting confused. So now this curve is going to represent the inside wall of the phone case. Remember, our phone case is three-dimensional, so it needs thickness, so it's going to have an inside wall and an outside wall. So that's why I have this inside phone case curve layer. I'm going to right click on this one now, copy objects layer, and then I'll turn that layer off. Now that's the inside of my phone case. I want to get to the outside of my phone case. So I have to do one more offset. And again, if you remember that handout, it gives you some recommendations for wall thickness. The wall thickness recommendation is between 1 and 1.5 millimeters, and I'm going to split the difference on that and go with 1.25. So now that's going to represent the actual thickness of the wall of my phone case. And I'm going to pull out and click. And now, because I've made a copy of the inside phone case layer, I can delete that as well to keep myself from being confused. So now here, this is going to represent the outside wall of my phone case. And if we look at this example of the phone case here, you can see this has thickness. The outside wall is right here. The inside wall is right there. So we're going to take this now, and we're going to work with this curve to create a three-dimensional object. But at this point, we've got everything set. We've created our curve. We have the curve we need for the outside of our phone case, and we're ready to go from two-dimensional to three-dimensional.